guys. That wasn't rehearsed at all. Not a bit. Thank you guys for coming out to Omaha. This is, I think, our 4th episode that we've been doing. Give it up for yourselves for being here. We got a bunch of great local talent. A lot of these comics have traveled nationwide, done comedy all over the place, so it's going to be a great show. I'm going to host, so you'll see me up here quite a bit. A little bit about myself. I've got a couple kids, 2 daughters. They're okay. Nothing exciting about them. Anyone else with kids out in the crowd? Not a lot of excitement. Okay. That is to be expected. I've got my oldest daughter. We were potty training her. It's pretty exciting that you can't just walk around and deuce in your pants and have someone else clean it up for the rest of your life. She came out of the bathroom the other day holding toilet paper in her hand. She had her first clean wipe. It's where you wipe, but you didn't need to wipe.
I've heard of that.
But you wouldn't. Well, you look confused, so I thought I'd break it down for you. And she was excited. She's like, "Dad, look, I wiped twice and it's still clean." I'm like, "All right, it happens. It's not a big deal." She's like, "No, we can save this for later," and then slid it into her pocket. I mean, what are you gonna do? She's 13, so. This is the same daughter that like kids have this weird ability to see through you into your like deepest insecurities, and they'll just draw them out in a heartbeat. Like my wife was getting ready. We were getting ready to go out on a date night. She didn't have her top on. She was doing her hair. I like this method of getting ready a lot, guys. And my daughter walked in and looked at her, and she said, "Mom, you're so pretty." She's like, "Thank you, Zoe." She's like, "When are my boobs going to get long like yours?" Just cutting deep. I grew up in Council Bluffs, which is just across the... Has anyone ever been to Council Bluffs? Not a chance. For the one gentleman that hasn't, it's like a trial by meth fire over there. It's just... It's so bad. And I'm gonna leave you on that cliffhanger of me being from Council Bluffs. No, I'm not. I'm going to do another joke. Council Bluffs, we do weird things over there like that are not acceptable anywhere else, but over there it's completely fine. My best friend, who I have known since college, first time I met him, went over to his house, drinking, having a good time. I sat down to use his bathroom. I reached over for where the toilet paper should be, and it wasn't there. And instead, there was just a stack of coffee filters sitting there. Said there was a stack of coffee filters sitting there. I was like, "Hey, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here." And he yells back, my now best friend yells back, "Just use those. I ran out of toilet paper 6 months ago. That's what I've been doing." Like the white trash MacGyver I am, I'm like, "No." I look around, I'm like, "Oh, hey, hand towel, that'll work." Hey, I hung it back up, guys, all right? And we're going to end it there because that's what I like. So I want you guys to get really loud for your first comic coming up. He's a really good friend of mine. Please give it up for Matt Wedlock.
PBS, Barney, Mr. Rogers. And me, I'm about to learn you something real good. I'm teach the kids. This is what they should learn. So out there, I had a Coca-Cola, which you would think is standard practice around the country, right? You say, "I'll have a Coca-Cola," and they say, "I know what you're talking about. Here you go." Not south of the Mason-Dixon line, okay? I don't know if you've ever been to Alabama. Don't go there. But if you do, and you say, "I'll have a Coke," they say, "Kind of Coke you won't." A Coca-Cola, not the powdered stuff. And they're like, "What kind of Coke you want?" Because down there, you have to tell them, do you want a Sprite Coke or a Pepsi Coke or a Coca-Cola Coke? Because that's what they call it. They call it Coke. And I'm not saying it's because they're stupid, but it's because they're stupid, all right? Because you can't take anything from somebody in the South. I don't care what it is. If you have that kind of a bang accent, I'm not going to listen to you. If my kid that I don't have, because I don't have a kid, all right? But if my kid was poisoned and I called poison control and they're like, oh, okay, you should get some charcoal and they need to swallow the charcoal right now and then call 911 because that'll absorb the poison. I'd be like, okay, you're eating charcoal. All right, but if I called poison control and I lived in Tennessee and y'all need to get some charcoal, okay? You know what I'm talking about? Did you go to, like when you're barbecuing for the Kane Chesney concert the other day, get that charcoal, you're going to have your kids swallow it and say, nope, okay. You're going to die. I see these truck commercials too on TV, and I saw one yesterday, and they have to be, I don't even know who they're trying to gear these to. And so I saw the Chevy commercial, and they're like trying to they're trying to like out redneck each other, because the first commercial comes on, and it's Chevy, and they're like, the all-new Chevy Silverado with a 15,000-ton towing capacity. Are you a mid-level manager at First National Bank? You want your friends to like you? Chevy runs deep. And you're like, oh, okay. That sounds nice. Then another commercial comes on, and it's like, Dodge Ram, the all-new God Country Dodge Ram. Are you a cowboy living out of his time? Then buy something with GPS on. The best in its class, 20,000-pound towing capacity. You could pull an elephant up Mount Everest, but you'll probably just need it to get to the 4th floor of the parking garage. Okay, Dodge. And then I was like, well, what's Ford? So I go look it up. Ford's commercial was just, towing capacity. 0% APR with 12 months financing. I mean, there's stupid people everywhere, okay? And you're stupid when you do something stupid and you won't admit, and you think you're right. You're like ignorant, because I'm stupid about a lot of things. There's a lot of shit I don't know, okay? But I'll say, yeah, I don't know that. But when you just act like you know something, that's stupidity. And I find the most stupidity in my girlfriends, all right? So 3 things that this girl has said to me in the last week. This is my ex-girlfriend. Okay, she couldn't find her phone charger. Her phone wasn't charged. I said, why don't you have a charger at home? She goes, oh, I do have a charger at home. I just don't know where it is. And I was like, so that means you don't have a charger at home, okay? I'm a millionaire. I just don't have the other $999,000. She woke me up last week, and I was like, what? What do you want? She goes, oh, I'm just seeing if you're awake. I'm like, come on now. Come on. If I'm answering the question, obviously I'm asleep. She's a vegan, which we can all agree we hate them. All right. This is the Midwest. She came home one day with a bag of chips, and she goes, look, babe, veggie chips. I can eat chips now. And I was like, all chips are made of vegetables, okay? You know how that works. I had another girl I was dating. She picks a fight with me at 7:30 in the morning over coffee, okay? I'm getting ready for work. I'm making coffee. She goes, coffee's not really doing it for me anymore. And I was like, okay, go smoke some meth. What do you want me to tell you? I said, try the light roast. It has more caffeine. She goes, no, it doesn't. The medium roast does. And I was like, no, it does. She goes, look it up then. And I was like, all right, it's 7:30 in the morning, and I'm getting ready for work, but let's do this. Okay, so I look it up. It's the light roast, because when you roast the beans, it roasts the caffeine out. And she's like, what website are you on? And I was like, Google, the only website that anybody goes to. And by the way, by definition, medium can't have the most of anything, okay? It can't have the most or the least. It's the medium. Just infuriated me. I was like, are you on meth? Seriously. And I've had to, turns out she was, okay? That's why it's not doing it for her anymore. I had to figure out things like, hey, how do I know if my girlfriend's on meth? Come home, she's vacuuming the roof, definitely meth, okay? Scrubbing the bar of soap with a toothbrush, also meth. hacked into all of my accounts like a professional, just female, actually, not meth. So that was fun. We've sent her to some AA meetings. I've been to AA meetings before, too, which they're weird sometimes, and they say that, has anybody in here been to AA? Nope, just me? Okay. So these 12-step meetings, they say it's founded by a guy named Bill Wilson. And I was watching a movie yesterday, and I'm like, actually it was founded by Bilbo Baggins. Because how are those 13 psychopaths not on drugs? Look at, they spend all day, they're like meeting up, okay, they're out there addicted to finding this ring. They all have, clearly Gollum was on meth. All right, look at the guy, he's eating dead fish. Which you're not going to see that unless like a street corner meth head. You had Sam and Frodo, classic codependency issues right there. Aragorn, they sent him home, and they're like, all right, listen, you're supposed to be the king, but you've been drinking too much, all right? You're going to have to, you need some help. So they sent him over there. And yeah, I've gone to some AA meetings, and the worst part about it is when somebody comes in and they say, I'm addicted to weed. And I'm like, okay, you're high. All right? You're absolutely high. Because weed's not addicting. There's cocaine's addicting. I think heroin's addicting. But weed, not something you can get addicted to. Okay, guys, I'm out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up Don Seager. Thank you very much for having me.
Guys, one more time for Matt Wedlock. Now, if you may have noticed on the first interaction, we left this in here, but I've been given special instructions to take it out of the mic stand for our next performer. It's a little hard to get in and out of there. You guys might have noticed that. No? Okay. Your next performer, she's been on shows all across Omaha. Please give it up to Katy Porcello.
I'm sorry. I'm just not really good at pulling it out, I guess, but... How are you guys doing tonight? I'm so excited to be here. Good. This is my first time having my name on a flyer that wasn't about VD, so like, yeah. Moving on up. So my roommate's a major pothead, which is actually really cool because he's super chill about stuff. And now whenever I get on a new diet kick, I just put all my Ho-Hos, bonbons, potato chips up on the counter, and the next morning they're gone like magic. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for life's problems, though. I put my kid on the counter, and he was still there the next morning. Okay, this issue's not resolving itself. I never realized how jealous women were until I became a server at Applebee's, and I got to experience their wrath firsthand. Anytime a couple came in, it was like the woman automatically assumed I was trying to steal her boyfriend. No, he's taking you out to an Applebee's on a Saturday night. I think I can do a little better than that. I mean, like, come on. And I'm sorry if you confused me being polite as me trying to seduce your man. Like, with your wings tonight, would you like ranch or blue cheese? I brought you some extra napkins because I can see you like to get messy. I like to get messy too. This chick just refilled my guy's soda 3 times in 10 minutes. What a slut! No, ladies, I don't want your man. I just want his money. But I'll tell you what, when I was pregnant, women were so much nicer to me. It was like I immediately fell off their hussy radar. Yeah, they would look at me and be like, you're pregnant now? Not even my man will want you? Like, and I'm sure it works the same if you're married, but see, I do everything way backwards. So I got knocked up first. Now I'm in college. Maybe I'll get married one day. I don't know. See, guys aren't really digging the single mom with alcohol dependency issues, so it's not really working out too well for me right now. I started my clinicals back up recently for nursing school, and the teacher always starts out with the question, why did you want to become a nurse? And the answers come in 2 forms. There's the, I just really like helping people, or the, I went into anaphylactic shock as a kid and a nurse saved my life. Okay. I'm over here like, am I the only one trying to marry up a divorcee doctor? I thought this would give me a leg up. You know what? Just put me down for anaphylactic shock. That sounds good. That sounds fine. Oh, I picked my kid up from school on Friday, and I panicked. The whole parking lot was swarmed with fire trucks. My heart dropped. And my son came running up to me, and he's, Mommy. And I was like, Teddy, step back. Baby, don't you see what's going on here? You see all these firemen around? Don't you want a new daddy? Mommy's got work to do. Run away. I always get really offended whenever a guy pulls out a condom, because I've only been with one other person today. No, but I did recently try my hand at Tinder, and that's always interesting. And I hear all these stories about these women getting roofied or kidnapped on their dates, and I don't even get a chance to make it that far. My first conversation starts out, hey, I'm Katy, I'm 27, I have a 5-year-old son, and I live with my dad. Don't you want to date me? No. They don't. They don't even give me an opportunity to tell them that I have a mild drinking problem and I'm borderline anorexic, which means you could take me out on a date. I'm probably going to get drunk and put out, and you don't even have to buy me dinner first. Yeah. Yeah. See? Leave no stone unturned. Or in this case, no bitch unswiped. I've been having a lot of self-esteem issues lately. And you know what doesn't help is those dang Ted Bundy documentaries. Yeah. Do you know the oldest girl he necrophiliatized was 26? I'm 27. Do you know what that means for me? Not even Ted Bundy would want me. Yeah. How do I go on living a normal life knowing that not even Ted Bundy would tear this ass up? Dead or alive, he doesn't want it. No. I compare that to everything now. I'll be out dress shopping like, this is cute. Not cute enough for Ted Bundy to want to rip off with his ice pick, but it's cute. I went on my worst date ever this past weekend. We were eating dinner, and before I even got through my first bite, he inhaled his whole meal. Yeah. I didn't know that meals had time limits in prison. So last time I use incarcerationdayton.com. But I'm going back on Thursday because it's Meatloaf Day, and I've heard great things. No, okay, so the highlight of my week was going to the nail salon and getting a pedicure. I love those women in there. They're just so bossy. You come in and it's what you want. Just a pedicure. Pick your color, sit there. Okay. I kind of have a thing for authority, so I get a little excited. Tell me what else you want me to do. And then they start rubbing your legs with the hot oil. And then it's the hot stones. And I get a little tingly, so I slip further into my chair, please, just one finger slip, just one. I haven't been touched in a really long time. Okay, you guys, that's gonna be my time. Thank you so much. I'm Katy Porcello.
She did it all by herself, you guys. Give it up for Katy one more time. All right, we are down to our last comic, and for those of you that don't know, we have a treat. You may have seen him on America's Got Talent. He is hitting LA like crazy right now. Give it up for Kil Theodrick.
Oh man, first and foremost, keep it going for your host, Don Seager, and all the other comedians you've seen tonight. It's good to be here. It's good to be here, people. I'm glad y'all showed up today. It's my father and my mom right here. They showed up. They're not. I just want to see if y'all was racist. And you are. Congratulations. We never met before. You're all racist. Especially you. You got the old racist white guy haircut. Any white guy that's bald on top of his head and keeps the sides, racist. You're struggling to keep that. No. All right. I'm playing, man. I used to be a server. I ran into a racist customer as a black server. That was very confusing for me. Like I kind of approached the table, and you could tell when someone doesn't like you as a server because they won't give you eye contact. They never look at you in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I knew he was racist off the top, which is confusing. Because if you're a real racist, you should want a black server, right? When you see me, you should be astounded. Like, yes, I'm so glad I have you here today. Now get me my sandwich now. As a server, it's like a form of slavery. You ever think about that? Because you're actually working on the hopes that you get a tip with no chance of probably getting a tip from the person with a haircut like that. Oh, man. I went to church on Sunday for the first time. I've been to church in a long time, people. I went to a black church. I love Baptist preachers because they're very exciting. When they come onto the stage, they're already sweating. Even though nothing's happened already, they're already sweating profoundly. And a black pastor can make a sermon using only 2 words out of the whole Bible verse. You ever notice that? Like a white pastor would say the whole Bible verse. Like Jesus walked down into Jerusalem where he met his disciples. They went into the city and he did miracles. Not a black pastor. A black pastor will run up on you. Read Matthew 21 verse 5. Jesus walked. Stop! Jesus walked. Let's talk about this for a second. If Jesus is walking in your life, let me hear you say amen. I don't believe in domestic violence. I would never put my hands on a woman like my girlfriend. If we live together, I would never hit her, you know what I'm saying? But I will set booby traps, you know what I'm saying? Like Home Alone style. Like if she's coming up the steps and a can of paint thinner swings down from the rafters and cracks her in the face, she'll know she was out too late. All my traps are set at midnight if you come in, you know what I'm saying? She come on, step on some spikes, she'll know I found her cell phone when I went through it, found her Tinder account. Yeah. Looking for an old white woman to date, someone like you, yes. I like old white women because I've been watching a lot of crime movies, and every single time someone gets arrested and they go to jail, it's always an old white woman that gets them out. Every single time, every episode of Law and Order, there's always some kid who raped some woman. He never gets taken to jail. He's at the police station, and an old white woman comes in, double clutching a handbag, talks to the head of security or whoever the heck, and gets him completely out of jail. That, and I'm looking for a Social Security check. I need that so I can pay my rent. White women are get out of jail free cards. I'm very serious about that. White women can get you out of a jail for free. Like, you ever got pulled over with a white woman before? She'll fight for you when it comes to talking with cops. The cocaine is mine. The gun belongs to my father. All right? Oh, man. I've been smoking way too much weed lately, ladies and gentlemen. I think about weird shit when I smoke marijuana. Like, I think about the first person who came up with a heart transplant. You know how crazy you had to be? To be like, hold up, what's wrong with him? His heart stopped. All right, give me a moment. Gets down on one knee. All right, how's your grandma doing? Is she still alive? What's her blood type? It's B positive. Well, I got a crazy idea. I'm gonna rip her chest open, take her heart out, put it in you. You good with that? What else is out there, man? I've been doing a lot of traveling. I used to live in Bellevue, Nebraska. Bellevue's a very white city. Way too many cops per person out there in Bellevue. Not enough crime for the cops, though. You know what I'm saying? I used to live there, man. No, there's no crime. Like, people will break into your house and do, like, childish stuff, though. Like, stuff you can't report to the police, you know? Like, one time I came home, someone broke into my house and rearranged all the furniture. Very childish. They stole all the batteries out of the remotes. It took my lighters, so now I had to light all my blunts at the stove. It's an electric stove, too, so it was very difficult to light that blunt up. Oh, man. I like smoking with white people, mainly because you always supply weed. When you smoke with black people, you never know who's going to bring the weed. Like, you ever had somebody invite you to come smoke weed and you showed up and they didn't have no weed to smoke? And now it's just an awkward standoff and like, yo, dog, I thought you was bringing the weed. One person, we have everything but the weed. One person has a swisher, one has a lighter, one has a bong, no weed. When you smoke with white people, they pressure you to smoke way more weed than is necessary. They want to smoke you to death. I'm serious about that, man. You guys got all kinds of crazy names for your weed. They sound like Facebook statuses. You'll try this kryptonite, kill you tonight. Try this. Black people weed is real simple. Dro, Kush. Reg. That shit. You ever had that before? That shit? All right. How you doing, sir? I don't like going to McDonald's after midnight. Mainly because they have 2 windows open for an unnecessary reason. You ever went to the first window, the same person that takes your orders, the same person that meets you at the second window? You're like, why do you just give me my food at the first window? We could have had this over with a long time ago. And you gotta trust them. You gotta give them your money at the first window, go up there and hope to God they got your food. It's not fair. Oh man, I'm thinking about buying a bow and arrow. I'm serious about that. I need to protect myself. I can't fight that well. I need a bow and arrow. Most people buy a gun, not me. Bow and arrow. You know why? People take it way more serious with a bow and arrow. Think about it. If you're in a bank, cashing a check, someone walks in with an AK-47, what's the first thing that goes to your head? They're about to rob the place. But if you're at a bank and someone comes in with a drawn bow and arrow, what's the first thing that goes to your head? It's like, oh my God, this dude is here to kill somebody right now. All right, you guys, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. My name is Kil Theodrick.
Keep it going for Kil Theodrick. Give it up for all the comics that you've seen here tonight. Thank you guys for coming out for Omaha. We'll see you next time.